Nuwara Eliya is already the most English-feeling town in Sri Lanka. Colonial bungalows, a race course, a golf course, strawberries sold at the roadside. But right in the center of this hill town, there is a 27-acre garden that takes the England comparison to a completely different level. Victoria Park, named after Queen Victoria herself in 1897. And if you're spending time in Nuwara Eliya and you walk past this park without going in, you're making a mistake. I am Santhosh Rupert, and I am taking you inside today. Before it was Victoria Park, this land had a completely different purpose. It was originally a research field belonging to the Hakkala Botanical Garden, used by British colonial scientists testing whether crops could survive at this altitude after coffee plantations across Ceylon were wiped out by a fungal disease in the 1870s. The park was formally established with the planting of its very first tree, an oak, by a visiting German princess. And in 1897, it was renamed Victoria Park to mark the Diamond Jubilee of Queen Victoria's reign, her 60th year as monarch. It was renovated in the 1920s into the garden you see today. Over a century later, it is still beautifully maintained and still carries that precise, unhurried colonial energy that makes Nuwara Eliya feel like nowhere else in Sri Lanka. The park covers 27 acres, right in the heart of Nuwara Eliya town. The moment you walk through the entrance, the temperature feels different, cooler, greener, quieter. The paths are wide and well kept. The lawns are manicured, and the flower beds are extraordinary. Roses, dahlias, marigolds, hydrangeas, azaleas, petunias, laid out in organized beds of color that genuinely belong in an English country garden. Some of the plants are labeled with information tablets, which makes walking through feel slightly like a botanical garden experience. The best time to visit for flowers is from March to May, and then again August to September. These are the two peak blooming seasons when the color is at its most vivid. But the park is beautiful throughout the year because even outside the bloom seasons, the trees, the stream running through the center, and the cool, misty air make it a genuinely lovely place to spend an hour. There is also a small Victoria Museum at the south entrance, worth a quick look for its colonial-era exhibits and historical photographs of Nuwara Eliya. At the far end of the park, there is a small children's playground, which makes this a particularly good stop for families. The bird watching here is underrated. The park is home to several highland endemic birds, including the Kashmir flycatcher, Indian blue robin, and the pied thrush, birds that come down from the higher elevations during the migratory season. If you are an early morning visitor, bring binoculars. Entry is very affordable. Adults pay around 300 LKR and children around 150 LKR. The park is open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day of the year. Allocate at least 1 to 1.5 hours. Longer if you are a photographer or a bird watcher. The park is located right in the center of Nuwara Eliya town, next to the post office on Pussellawa Street. If you are already in town, it is likely walkable from wherever you are staying. A few practical notes. Bring a light jacket. Even on a warm day, Nuwara Eliya can turn cool quickly, and the park has a lot of shade. Wear comfortable walking shoes. The paths are flat and paved, but the lawn areas can be slightly damp. Photography is welcome throughout the park, and the flower beds make for some genuinely beautiful shots. What surprised us most about Victoria Park was how completely it takes you out of the noise of travel. Nuwara Eliya town is busy. The market, the traffic, the constant activity of a hill country tourist hub. And then you walk through those gates and it is quiet. Just the sound of birds, the stream and the wind through the trees. We spent longer here than we planned, which in my experience is always the best sign that a place is worth your time. Victoria Park will not be the most dramatic stop on your Sri Lanka itinerary. It will not give you the vertigo of World's End or the awe of Sigiriya. But it will give you something those places cannot. A genuinely peaceful hour in one of the most beautiful small gardens in South Asia. And sometimes that is exactly what you need. I am Santhosh Rupert. If you are planning a Nuwara Eliya trip, subscribe for more Sri Lanka travel guides. And tell me in the comments, did you visit Victoria Park? And what was your favorite part of it?